Hey everybody, coming at you from out in the wilderness. Now, today we're going to be talking about two things. One of them is, if you remember a few videos back when I was experimenting with camo, I used some camo mesh to hide a campsite. Well, that was a type of camo that had a lot of brown to it. Well, I got to thinking I wanted to order some for summertime, so I ordered multicam that's got a bunch of green in it, and we're going to set that up and test that. And I also have a Polish Lavvu. Now, what this is it's a military cape. It's Polish military, and you can wear it. You can pull these strings on it and turn it into a hood and wear it as a cape, and wear it over your backpack. But then you can attach another one to this and it becomes a shelter. And I have a hack to make this a much better shelter that I'm going to show you in case you happen to, you know, get a hold of one of these, or you possibly could make one. But anyway, let's get this backpack off, and you can wear this over a backpack, but I'm going to put this on and kind of model it for just a minute and show you a little, give you a little better view of it. All right, so let's get this show on the road. Now, I may or may not be pronouncing this right, but I think this is called Polish Lavvu, okay? Now, there's a guy on YouTube named Matt Big Monster, and he knows everything there is to know about this. I don't know that much about it. I've got two of these recently, and I believe these come in small, medium, and large, and the large are the most desirable, and I think this is medium. And he said on his video, it said something about at the end of it, the number of eyelets. The small has 1, medium has 2, large has 3. So I'm assuming this is a medium. But this thing here, you can pull, if you'll see right here, you can pull this string and you can see where it goes through this thing at a taper. And then there's another one back here. Well, there's a way that you can rig that up so that it's a hood. But a lot of times whenever I wear a USGI poncho or a cape or rain cape, I just go ahead and wear a hat instead of having it over my head, because it just seems like when you have the hood, it seems to drip on your face. But when you have a brim, it tends to drip further away. But now this cape, you put it on, and see, there's certain areas that a USGI poncho could get ripped. I mean, it is good, lightweight, waterproof, but still, it could get ripped. This thing is more like canvas. It's not as rippable. Now, it's got these pockets here that you put your hands on, out. Wait a minute, look, see, this thing's already, see, this thing's inside out. And that was one of his gripes. If I was to use the hood feature, you could be able to tell a little bit better. But now you can just wear this thing. Okay, you can just wear this thing in a certain way. And I forget how you fasten it. I think you button it up and pull it over your head. But you can unbutton these and you can reach your arms out. But anyway, okay, so it's a cape. Now, I'm going to show you how you lay it on the ground and you attach it to another one. Now, when these things are issued, they issue, from what I hear, they issue one to each soldier. And as they issue them to each soldier, they also issue a little pack of tent pegs. And then they also issue a little pole that has sections that goes together. And the pole goes in the middle, straight in the middle. And this thing sets up round like a teepee with a pole in the middle. Well, I put a pole in the middle of my two and hated it because there was no room. So what the hack is to take 4 poles, and instead of setting it up round, I set it up kind of elongated, and it makes a fantastic shelter. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to lay these on the ground, we're going to attach them, and then we're going to try to find some poles, tie them up, and set it up. All right, and then we're going to try to hide it with our camo mesh. It's going to be fun. I love wearing this cape. I kind of feel like a olive drab Darth Vader. All right, so let's take this and set it here. Now, what I'm going to do, I hope that everything is in here, because I packed this backpack like 3 months ago for this video. So first thing we're going to do, excuse me. All right, we're going to unhook this. This is my bed roll. Well, my heavy-duty vinyl mat for protecting my air mattress. So let's see what all's in here. Oh, one little thing. Always keep your first aid kit on top of your pack. All right, so let's just pull everything out here. Let's see. Now this is what I like to do. I think some people call this a gear dump. But what I like to do is, I like to what do you call it? I get everything out of my backpack and I lay everything out on the ground, and then I'll set up my shelter, and then whatever I don't need I put back in the backpack. I think they call it a gear dump when people do it. And then you can hang your backpack from a tree somewhere to kind of keep it off the ground. So we have 2 of these. Now just like Matt Big Monster said, never make the mistake of putting this on the outside. This goes on the inside. Same thing with the arm flaps. The way it's got this little opening, the covers go on the outside. So what you want to do is lay this down and then lay it on the ground to see how it attaches together. Just like that. And then that right there is that's how you'll button them together right there, so that the things are on the outside. So the way these things fit together is one end has just got holes in it, and then the other has got the buttons. And what you do, the way they seal up, is that you button through just like that. Okay. Normally what I do is I'll button through every one of them like that. Alright, so that's one layer. And then you come back and then you lay this on the outside and you push that button through. You see, that double seals that edge. It takes a little bit, but that's what you do, and you go all the way up to the top. All right. So I'm gonna button all these things up right here, and then I'm going to go and we're gonna cut some 4 sticks for the frame for this thing. All right, so there it is laid out. Hopefully you can see it, but as you can see, what it is it's over half a circle. You see, that's why it makes such a good conical type shelter, almost like a teepee. And the doors actually overlap each other. But I'm not going to do it conical shape. It's going to be more of a rectangle shape at the base. That way there's a lot more room to sleep in it. So let's throw this to the side, and then I'm going to go saw some pieces for the framework. Now, I don't know how good you could see that, so I'm literally going to lift the tripod up in the air to see if you can see the shape of it better. Now, I've always bragged about the Ontario SP53, and they changed the they changed the sheath. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a sheath of the old style, they used to have a pocket on them, and that pocket will hold a silky pocket boy, which is very, very handy for doing stuff like this. So that's what I'm going to use. Now, we're going to go get some poles. And the poles, I measured when I did the mock-up at home, and I did it with bamboo. But the poles need to be about head high. All right, so we're going to go gather up 4 of them, and then we'll tie the top together with paracord, and that'll be our frame. All right, so once you've got all the little dimples and little sharp points carved off, what you want to do next is you want to kind of round off the tops of them a little bit, especially the tallest one. So I got 3 of them here because you want to do away with this little sharp point here, and you want to make it as rounded off as possible so that it won't poke a little hole through it. I'm on the GoPro, so I can't tell. I don't have a viewfinder. So I don't know if I'm getting it all in shot. I hope I am. All right, now that's pretty good right there. I don't think that right there will poke a hole through it. So I'm gonna do all 3 of them like that. And then we'll be able to tie the frame up. We'll tie the 4 together with paracord. There's about a million different ways of tying this stuff together. And it's not easy whenever they're not straight. Usually what I'll do is I'll tie around a couple of loops, and then I'll go in between them like this. About 2 rounds. I'm sure there's better ways of doing this, but this is how old Dave does it. All right. Because you're bunching up what's in between them like that. All right, so I got 2 loops between there. And I haven't had a problem with them falling apart like this. A lot of times I'll just bring duct tape and tape them together. Just like that. All right. And if you want to, you can go around it several more times. But 2 loops seems to work. And then when I get to where I've got about a foot left, see, I don't like to cut my paracord. I just like to leave it full length, so I just wind up just wrapping all around it like this. And then when I get to where I got about a foot left, what I'll do then is I'll come back through the outside too, and that'll keep that stuff from bunching together. And then I guess I'll go through the middle too, just like that. All right. And then tie it off somewhere at the top. You'll be good to go. That's what the top looks like. A lot of people say, oh, you use too much paracord, but like I said, I don't cut my paracord. So once I've got my double loops in between each stick, I just wrap it around it, and it's not going anywhere because you've cinched it up tight. So now you just spread it out and throw the cover over it, and then you'll kind of spread each leg out until it seems like it fits it. And then you put the stakes in. Now, another thing that I've discovered that helps before you do this, before you put the cape on, is I like to lay my ground pad out so that I can kind of get an idea of what length it needs to be. Now I'm going to bring you in and show you kind of a close-up of how the top is done over those folds. Now the idea behind the frame is the frame supports the top. It doesn't necessarily have to be, the stakes don't necessarily have to be at the base of it. The stakes can pull the canvas, the Lavvu cover material, out even further past. You're just trying to hold up the point of it. So let's look here for a minute. There's something that I want to show you. Let's aim it down here. Let's see if I can see. Yeah, I'm there. Okay. Now look. See this? It's got this extra material, and what that does is that extra material folds over the top like that. Let's see. Okay, this one goes on first. Okay, this goes on first. And then this actually overlaps it, just like that. All right. So I'm gonna change batteries. We're getting low on battery. Now I got enough battery, I think. Yeah, I got enough battery. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go around and stake it out and stretch it out real far. Now everything is drooping on this thing, but once we put the stakes on it, we're gonna stretch it out. Now this is the pouch that it comes in, the stakes. And the factory stakes were in really bad shape. So I ordered some extra heavy duty stakes. They were all bent up, and see, these are so heavy duty you could pound these things in with a rock if you wanted to. And then it comes with a puller. I think these came off of Amazon so that you can pull them out of the ground. Anyway, so I'm going to use these. Let's see, let's start out this corner. Pull this. See, I'm going past. I'm actually going past the framework. And then here, look, I'm even going even further out. Now, I'll decide in a minute which way the door is going to be, and I have a trick for that. This is a good example of what I'm talking about. A lot of shelters, the frame, the cover will follow the pole. But with this, there's so much material that you can come on out and away from the frame. All right, so I'm gonna give you a complete walk around. Now you see how far out that stretched? That tree is in the way, but I'm not moving everything because it doesn't matter. But normally that would be stretched out far like that. Okay, so let's walk all the way around here and look. Now you can see there's part of the framework right there. And you can move all this stuff around and manipulate it however you want to. But see, it's almost like a, you know, if you put one pole in the middle, it's almost like a teepee shape. Now, as far as the door goes, what you want to do, this thing's set up. Let's see if I can get in here. This thing's set up to where it's got buttons, like say if you were going to connect it on the outside, that's how it would be connected. But it has buttons on the inside. So you see, once you get inside it, you're going to button it from the inside once you're in for the night. See? So, but what I'm going to do is, for the sake of filming, we're going to open this thing up. I'm going to pull these stakes out. And I'm going to pull this out here so that I can get some light in there and you can see how much room is inside. So let's pull this over here. Alright. Now I think what I'm going to do, yeah, the battery's pretty low now. I'm going to change batteries now, and then we're going to crawl inside and I'm going to show you how much room is in there. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Alright, so there's plenty of room inside. I got you off the tripod, but there's not really much room for the tripod. So what we're going to do, we're going to crawl in. Now, it's probably going to be kind of dark in here. But, okay, there's my feet. Now if you look, there's the bottom of my feet. And then there's the end of the mat. Alright, so I'm going to lay down, and my feet, okay, I got to go down just a little bit. Alright. Alright, so here's my head. You can see the roof up there, the framework. Now remember, those things get pulled too, and then you button them up once you're in for the night. Now it's kind of bad. I don't know how the soldiers did it. Like when it was raining, I have no idea. But, you know, if it was me, I would have an extra tarp overhead, because you would get drenched doing that. Now, as you can see, we got the framework here. You can see the framework right there. I don't understand how two guys slip in here with a pole coming straight down the center. I don't understand it. All right, so let me put my pad in here. I'll put my pad in here and I'll show you, because there's something else I want to mention. Now normally when it comes to camping, for me, I like, in the heat, in the summertime, I have an elevated bed or a tree platform or a hammock. I don't like laying on the ground because there's just too much stuff on the ground. But around April and May, I'll still sleep on the ground. But the thing is, for those of you people that don't camp a lot of people don't bring sleeping bags during the hot weather. They'll just carry a blanket. But, let's see, let's pull this out. This thing here is a self-inflating mattress. All you got to do is roll it out. Oh, and I've got this real heavy duty. You just lay it on there. Now I've got this real extremely heavy duty vinyl thing so that I don't have to worry about it poking a hole in my mattress. Now here's the thing. Oh look, it comes with a patch kit even in case it does. Now it used to be I would take all these bags and just throw them in the shelter, but I've got to where now I put them back in my backpack. Now a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take a blanket or a quilt, and what this is I brought this along with me. But the thing is, if you're laying on the ground around April or May, there's still a possibility there may be some insects or bugs or something on the ground. So what I do is, instead of carrying a sleeping bag, I carry a sleeping bag liner. Slumberjack makes a couple of good ones. They make one for summer and they make one for winter. I went ahead and opted to bring one for the winter, because what it is this thing right here, it's a super thin bag that you crawl inside. And so what I do is I plan on, I'm gonna lay it out. And what I do is I plan on being in the bag on my mattress, and I'm planning on sleeping like that because I'm in an enclosed shelter. Now, if I get chilled in the night, I'm going to have this right there beside me, so that all I got to do is, if I need an extra blanket, I'll either cover myself up with that or I'll shove it inside here. But these things, you don't always need a sleeping bag, but you do need at least a liner. That way, because if you're just laying in here, you know, a lot of people don't like, they have to have a fully enclosed tent. But if you've got something like this that doesn't have a floor, then, well, you need to have the majority of your body covered up in a bag. I think that's just my opinion. So, but anyway, that's about that. That's just a little of a tip there. So now what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the camo mesh, and I'm going to show you from a distance if it does anything to this shelter, if it helps hide it any. All right, here's a shot of it. The shelter is green, but the leaves are brown. So let's go to 3 different angles and take a look at it with just green and see how it blends in from a distance. All right, so here we are about, I don't know, 30-40 feet away. From this view, to me, on the little viewfinder on the back, it blends in a little bit better. So let's go down the hill and take another look, another view. I don't know, we're probably about maybe 40-50 feet away. Kind of hard to judge. But now, does that blend in? So last time we did this, if you'll remember, I took the camo mesh and I strung it up across a line, a ridge line. And the problem with that is you could see a definitive line. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to take the camo mesh and throw it over the shelter and see what it looks like. That way you don't have a definitive line. Now we're going to start out with the brown that I originally bought, and then we're going to try the new mesh that's got the green. And there's another view with the brown camo mesh. Does it help? Does it seem to blend in? Let's move over a little more, then we'll take it off. Now this is going to be really interesting once I get it on the computer and edit it, because I really can't tell from this little tiny viewfinder. But I'm going to walk forward and pull the mesh off to see if it does any made much of a difference. So this is the original mesh that I bought. It's off Amazon from a company called Windway. There's a bunch of them that sells this stuff though. So anyway, that was kind of a brown looking color. And I had some available that was even cheaper in a much larger piece. And I kind of felt like I wanted some that had some green to it for summertime. But this may just work. I don't know. There's always leaves on the ground. This just may work where it's kind of grassy, but I don't know. Let's pull this out and look. But this is twice as big as the other. And what this is this is actual multicam. So let's throw this on and see. This is twice the size. But what it is it's very, very long and narrow, because I thought it could go around the campsite. So I don't know. Maybe it'll work, maybe not. We're gonna throw it on at a distance and see. Well, actually I'm gonna put it on and set the camera off in the distance, and then I'm gonna walk forward and pull it off so that you can see if there's a difference in this. Maybe too much green though, contrasting with the brown on the ground. Hard to say. So if you were walking through the woods at this distance away from my shelter, what would you think? You know what I'm saying? Would you be able to see it? So I'm going to walk up there and pull it off now so you can see if there's a difference. Alright, ignore the backpack hanging from the tree and just try to see, you know, does that blend in? How did it blend in before? Did it look better than having the green? So I'm going to back up even further, and then I'm going to run up there and pull the cover off of it. Alright, so kind of look around and think to yourself, if you weren't looking for it, would you be able to see it? Now I'm going to run up and pull the cover off, and you see if there's a difference. So did it make a difference? I couldn't tell on that viewfinder very good. But the thing that I noticed about this compared to that, yes, this has a lot more brown in it. But the thing I noticed about this that I didn't realize is on one side it has the nice camo pattern, and the other side, it's a real light looking color, that it's more distinct on one side. And on this one, it's not as noticeable. Because to me, I think this is the correct side. Now look at the other side. Honestly, I don't think there's that much of a difference. Now, I don't know. I want to experiment with this more. This is a very long, this is like 20 feet long by like, I think 5 feet maybe. Yeah, it's like 5 feet tall. It's touching the ground now. I don't know if I want to cut this and sew it side by side like I did the other, because I was thinking maybe if it was an area where there was a whole bunch of green in the background, then maybe this could border the camp. But I don't think there's enough green here yet to bother with hanging up a ridge line and hanging it from it. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that right there, because there's a lot of people that's getting interested in this mesh now, especially with all the crazy people out there in the world. But anyway, so that's the Polish Lavvu. If you happen to get a hold of one, even if it comes with the center pole, I wouldn't use it, because it's right in the way of your sleeping area. Build you a little frame. For me, it was about head high. And then take the stakes and use the stakes to pull it out and manipulate it however you want it. So, hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Get out, camp, enjoy life, play with shelters, sleep outdoors. Do anything you can in the woods. Even if you're 100 feet away from the car, you don't have to hike 2 or 3 miles into the woods. Just get out and enjoy nature. So, till the next one, enjoy life, and we shall see you in the next one.